and even in French, which doesn't make any sense to me too. Yeah, I'm so relieved to be with you and communicate with English. Okay. And today I'm gonna give you the some talk about the spiritual world. And uh, at your hand, you can find some materials. The first one is the testimony of the Middle East lady who has converted her religion from Islam to happy science. Islam to happy science, which means it's the very serious punishment, a very serious crime in that country. So she had to die if it was revealed. But at the risk of that kind of faith, uh, faith program, she devoted her life to encounter. You can read these materials later, which made you cry finally. And at the same time, we give you these handouts. We will have the master's big lecture, Jose Tansai, the Lost Descendant ceremony. And the English title was decided. The English title is the Be Independent and Strong. Be Independent and Strong. This is from Master's direct translation. Master's translation. In Japanese, it was originally easy translation is breakthrough the easy way of living, but which we disciples have sophisticated this title by translating defeating the naive optimism in you, and we submitted to Master. That our translation, the idea of our translation, but Master changed and decided this title is better. Be independent and strong. This is gonna be my line. This is gonna be with my line. I will talk about. Thank you for coming. I talk about this kind of thing. Master says, but beforehand, the title itself was the right choice for humankind. It was decided one day. Master approved that title. Right choice of humankind. But at night, Master changed his idea and gave us this title. Why? Because many things are happening right now on this earth, and if Master gives us the right and one and only goal, it is not a definite goal so far. Many things are uncertain right now. So be independent and strong is very universal and versatile way of title. So this is gonna be the better, Master said. So we expect many things will happen after COVID and Ukraine and something. Okay. And I would like to start by this story by talking about my experience of the spiritual interview with Putin. Spiritual interview with Putin. Have you seen the Putin's spiritual interview?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am the questioner. Maybe. Please. Yeah, I am the questioner. C. Always questioner C. And B is the editor in chief of the Liberty, the magazine. He's talking and talking and talking. He's grabbing his microphone, and he never let me talk. always proper. And yeah, at the time of the 24th of February, Master suddenly summoned three disciples, including me, to the Taigokan, which means a great enlightenment prayer hall, ritual prayer hall, which where master always live and communicate with spiritual world. And we were summoned. It always happens suddenly. In the nighttime, master dreams, and master decides in the morning time. Then summon up many people to have the spiritual communication and question a Q&A session with the spiritual guiding spirits. Okay, so at that time, right? He's wandering around. So, yeah. At the time, Mr. Putin, Master. Microphone is off.
Yeah, 大丈夫です、大丈夫です。No problem.
No problem. What happened?
Yeah, sometimes 接触に
Sometimes. Sorry. Yeah, at the time, the Russian army is surrounding Ukraine, but it was not decided, or it was uncertain whether actually the invasion happens or not. And Master wanted to confirm Putin's real intention, whether you're gonna invade or not. And Master called the Putin spiritual guiding spirit, our guiding spirit, and we were the Christians. It always starts suddenly, and there's no time to prepare. There's no time to meet with each and everybody. And on the master's desk, there's nothing, no material at all. And Master Salmon put in spirit, and the talk continued up until he's always doing something to make you comfortable. He's always trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm really a little bit nervous. Yeah. And Putin was so angry at that time.
Sensitive.
Always you are experiencing this kind of knowledge.
Probably the microphone guided towards you and then
Yeah, I think everybody
back to
can
the
listen.
way.
That's why without the mic it's okay.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not that it keeps disturbing when Mr. Yamada moves.
Yeah. You can step back and then put the
Okay.
That's it.
Step back.
Yeah, try like that so that they don't like
This is gonna be good.
Then switch off is the best way. Okay.
But if you switch off, the
They
people
can't hear.
who are reading, listening to the other side.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Connecting.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, I must speak louder. Okay. Yeah. And Putin was so angry at the Biden's strategy. Biden is trying to eliminate Putin, and Biden is making enemy with Putin, and Biden is trying to defeat Russia by avoiding his blame, because Biden was unstable right now in the U.S. Everybody's against Biden, so if they turn on the other side, it would distract the attention. So that's the reason, Biden's reason, to make Putin as the enemy. Because by making Putin enemy, Biden can go to the different style of Trump. Okay, that's the important part. So the Putin was so angry, and we will not follow Biden's way. We will not be deceived by putting Biden's way. And
The microphone is
It's still on.
it happened again. Sorry for the interruption.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and we made several conversations with Putin guiding spirit, and Putin. My question was, the Western side, I mean the U.S. or Britain, trying to make great sanction, unprecedented sanction on Russia. Do you think you can go through with these sanctions? These sanctions, and Putin clearly said, we have energy and food. We can endure. We can do it. He clearly said so. And right now we are having that kind of situation. And the Western side, that the price of the oil is soaring, and uh, wheat price is up, and we experience Western side is experience poor, become poorer and poorer. But we have also the branch in Russia, and he reported the Shibucho, the branch manager, reported to me their uh, fuel cost is very what happened? Their fuel is very low. So with 1 month, they only pay 10 euro or something, 10 euro as the for lighting, or and 10 euro for the waters. Their life is nothing changed, have nothing changed, and every food or every item are as always. So the economic sanction did not work at the Russia. Anyway, getting back to the original story, Putin's invasion started anyway. And we happy science are not on the side of the waging war. Waging war is not good, always a good thing. But what is most important, mostly important is the which side, on which side we have justice. The justice on the war is most important. In humankind's history, there are many wars in humankind's history. And justice is the most concerning point, most crucial point for humankind. And by the way of reporting mass media, we can not see any justice at all. It obscures justice. What Putin is trying to do is to protect Donbas area, the eastern and southern side of the Russian people. He is trying to protect them because they are very persecuted by the Zelensky himself. So Putin's intention is like this. And after communicating with the Putin's spiritual guiding spirit, Master concluded, I see no evil vibration from Putin. He's not possessed by a devil, Master said clearly. And at night, 1 week or 1 week later, Zelensky's spiritual guiding spirit visited Master's place. When Master was trying to sleep, the Zelensky suddenly came, and he left a message. He's the actor, he's a comedian, so he tries to draw attention, and that's the only desire of his way. He's always trying to attract any help from the world, and he is asking also asking from master, and he doesn't care anything if the nuclear war happens, or if the third or fourth world war happens. He doesn't care the result. All he want, all he wants is just to receive some help. So, which do you think the just is on the justice itself? Putin thinks the whole world, structure of the western side and the eastern side and the Russian side. But Zelensky is very self-centered, and Zelensky is not have the bigger perspective, which is the big difference between them. So Master always talking on the different style about of the reporting, different style from the Western media reporting, and Master from the very beginning stage, Master predicted this gonna be the defeat. Biden is gonna be defeated twice. The first defeat is the COVID, and then next one is Ukraine and Russia. It's like a busy background with. Well, I have to go and find out excited something happened. Yeah. And I'd like to give you the another story. And Master is always giving us the lecture or Master is preachment or teachings. But these days, Master wrote some novels, even the novels. And we are now, right now, translating. So you can have the newest novel, The Woman with the Cross. This is a literal translation. But Master also gave us the Master's original English title, The Unknown Stigma. This is a trilogy. Finally, it's a trilogy. It started with the crime suspects. The lady was young girl was raped, and she has some experience from some spiritual experience, and that spiritual experience turned her life into the very opposite way. But at the end of the first edition, the world turns into darkness. The missile is flying all over around the world, and world is going to be end. And the second novel, in the second novel, this is the resurrection part, and which is the like apocalypse, and finally the continents, many continents sink down deeper into the sea, which means our civilization will end. And the third part appeared recently, and we are not translating, and we'll give it. We can share immediately. The third part is the universe, and in this part, it's just like Star Wars. We are right now surrounded by the universal space people, and we are now watched right now by the universal space people. And Master describes that kind of story, and at the beginning stage of this third part, the Agnes, who is playing the main role of this novel is reflecting herself. What was wrong with civilization right now? What was wrong? What was the turning point? By reflecting, and there are 10, 10 points, and she's reflecting one by one. The first one is nuclear war. Nuclear. Nuclear war started, and as you may, some of you may know, the Laws of Messiah says nuclear bomb is the very destructive for humankind. After the U.S. dropped on Japan the nuclear war, the space people are appearing to humankind many times, because if once nuclear war was started, this Earth cannot become be the same training ground. Same training ground. This Earth is the training ground for the souls. This Earth is the training ground of ourselves. By we are souls, and by reincarnating, taking this body, we set ourselves inside that soul, and we will return to heaven to level up ourselves. But if atomic bomb destroys this three-dimensional world, there's no training soul. There is no training field or training ground for the souls. So it should be prevented. So many UFOs are appearing on this earth after the U.S. bomb attack on Japan. The situation changed. And the second one, the Agnes is reflecting, is the colonization or racial discrimination. This has been a long matter, long problem for the humankind. Colonization. Yeah, this country has many empire, many colonized areas, and among them there were, of course, the racial problem happening. And this kind of racial problem increases the hatred between races, and evil souls are appearing and damaging ourselves on this humankind. And third one is of course, the communism. Communism is denies God, which makes humankind atheist, and atheist cannot return to heaven, because heaven is the word of God, and heaven is the world controlled by God. We have to return to heaven by believing some kind of faith. And communism denies every faith. And communism took much importance on these materialistic things, which degrades human souls, in fact, because these materialistic things are not eternal. We have to leave everything, every materials into this three-dimensional world, and we will return to heaven with nothing materialistic. So communism was rampant around the world, and North Korea, and China, of course. Yeah, these kind of problem has caused the civilization the ending. The Agnes was thinking about that. Or, of course, the coronavirus. We happy science always thinking and always claiming and saying that coronavirus is the bioweapon of China. It was developed to kill humankind, and researched and developed in China with the financial assistance of the US or Europe, of course. But anyway, their intention, the coronavirus intention is to kill people. And somehow, with the help of the space beings, it leaked from the Wuhan area and prevailed on this earth. And the master predicted uh, that the corona situation we have experienced for 2.5 years, but after more 2.5 years, we will experience coronas. So this situation will last. We are now taking a rest right now. And second coming of the coronavirus is more serious. And second coming is more, the coronavirus has more fatal rate. The fatal rate is increasing. So it's going to be a serious one. We have to prepare. But it will end in 5 years in total. It will end in 5 years total, which somehow coincidence with the Biden term. Anyway, and of course, Russian-Ukraine matter has caused some problem. Or the sixth one is the Muslim and Christianity. Yeah. These two religions hate with each other for several hundred years. So we cannot make any harmony in this earth. For that reason, Master has descended to this earth. The Father of Heavenly World descended to this earth. And everybody have to acknowledge this fact that the Heavenly Father is a Kantara, and Allah is a Kantara, and a Kantara has descended as beautiful power in Japan. So this is why we are right now spreading this truth to the end of the world, all over the world, to make harmony in the humankind and to make harmony on the field of the religions. The Muslims are believing Allah, and Christian people are believing the Heavenly Father through Jesus. They are adoring and admitting and having relations with the same being, which is named El Child, right? And the other things, the seventh reflection point number 7 is the climate change. Do you think climate is changing? Yeah, I feel some kind of climate changing because it is too hot. Yeah, in Paris we have so much sweat. I cannot sleep at night. I could not sleep at night. Yeah, the climate is changing. Always climate is changing, but humankind has been living for a longer and longer time. I mean, the climate is always changing, and right now, the Earth is going to go. The temperature is going up and up, but which makes the creature on the surface make bigger and bigger, which means we can have more food to eat. So there's no problem so far to be on the climate change. And the cause and the effect or result is not decided or determined. And then CO2 has some of them, the climate change theorists are always talking about the CO2 is the enemy. CO2 has the program, but CO2 is the food for plants. So we can have more and more plants with the CO2. There's no program. And it is a changing style. It is the some strategies to make Western world poorer, and it was hidden meaning. If we think of the reducing CO2, we have to turn off our lights and we have to turn off our electricity, which makes ourselves poor and which makes our uh, our civilization not progressing, digressing side. Okay, the climate change is also different, and the Agnes is reflecting on herself that the eighth point is LGBTQ. LGBTQ. We are created by God, and the first thing God did on this earth is to divide man and woman, as it is clearly explained in the laws of the sun. The first thing Master did, or Ekantara did, it was long time ago, to divide human souls into two groups, which is harmony and progress, and which has the love or harmony, and the male side is the courage or wisdom or something. The two different types of souls, and with these two different types, selecting to have the two different types of human bodies, we can experience many lives, many types of lives on the course of human history. So it is no problem. And LGBTQ is the serious problem. To it's just a challenge to God. Human can change its sex by operating. We have to think of the souls, not these physical bodies. What our true meaning or our true self is the souls. What we have to esteem most is the souls, not this human body. So LGBTQ has the problem, but of course we are not excluding LGBTQ people. We are not accusing LGBTQ people because some of them, such kind of people are always existing in the course of human history. So we will not make enemies with LGBTQ, but these days, the human rights, equal human rights, is talking too much, and it's going to be a materialistic side. So this is going to be the next point. And the ninth point is the pork barrel policy or spending policy. So that deprives the human effort. The government is trying to spend to nurture that people, but for that reason they are trying to collect many taxes, which deprives the energy of nations. Okay, and the 10th point is the evil alien problem. Yeah. Anyway, I have talked about the 10 big problems of this civilization, which starts from the third novel, the Unknown Stigma, the Universe edition. Here, I'd like to give you the video clip about the recent danger, which was reviewed last month. Some of you may have watched this video clip.
られているわけです。大阪市と言います。今日来た理由はですね、ロシアの分が始まっておりますけれども、北朝鮮の軍事侵攻近いと、一つ言っておくて、韓国への軍事侵攻がもう近い。これで、起こると世界戦争というのは、まあ、今では終わりはしないので、まだ破壊力がもっとすると思いますので、核兵器ってそんなもんではないので、コロナ以上の結果になる可能性があります。本当に人口減、本当に大きい可能性があります。今、結論は全部言えませんけども、一応、世界大戦の跳ね合う可能性にちょっと近づいてきていると。まず、自分の命を惜しいと思うなということを言っておきたいと思います。そういう危機の時代に生き延びるためにやってるわけじゃないんだということです。いいですか。会員だから、ここは沈みそうだから逃げられるという情報をいち早く経て生き延びられるとか、そういうことのためにやっていくものではない。たとえ、このポートピアが沈んでいくとも、やはり直前まで頑張るのは締めたいんです。地上の寿命はどうせ有限です。有限ですから、遅い早い私は気にしてないんです。早く死のう遅く死のう関係ありません。死ぬまでにどれだけのものを使うか、そしてどれだけの仕事をしたか、それが大事なんです。ですから、やっぱりどういう危機状況が訪れてもね、右往左往する必要はないということです。動乱期やそういう天変地異が起きれば起きるほど、そういう場にこそ活躍の舞台があるんだということですね。だからどうかね、永遠の真理学んでいるんですから、そんな地震雷火事親父ぐらいでごたごたしないでいただきたい。命はなくなりませんから、そういう時こそ、実力発揮の場だと思って、決然としてやっていただきたい。まあ、そう思います。いいですか。命惜しいと思うな。それだけ言ってみます。ごたごたしないでいただきたい。そういう時こそ、大変として、真に悟った人がやらないとないんです。みんながパニックになった時に、やはり冷めた人がいるんですね。冷静な人がいます。全世界に真理を広げてください。いかなる天変地異も未来の在り方を変えてしまう力が信仰心にはあるんです。頑張れ、心がけ皆さん。頑張れ、世界の勇士たちよ。頑張れ、まだ未来の菩薩たちよ。あなたたちの手に人類の未来が預けられています。世界164カ国以上の皆さん、どうか私の話を君の体にも伝えてください。まだ人類は救えるところにいます。しかし私のことを聞かなかったら、人類は半分にまで減る可能性だってあります。私はそれを10年以内に言うことをできれば避けたいと思っています。どうか私のことを信じてついてきてください。そして伝えてください。
This is the master's voice. The master is trying to change the destiny of human evolution
私たちは、
within these 10 years. If it fails, the human population will decrease into half, which is obvious. Right now, we are having 8 billion. Too much. And situation is deteriorating on and on. Each and every person who is reincarnated to this earth cannot return to heaven after experience this three-dimensional world life, because the good and evil is undecided. They cannot choose right things, always deluded by these three-dimensional material things, and forget about God and God's way, or God's intention, or God's will. And that's why Master has written here. He is trying to make this world to happier place by teachings, by giving you messages. Of course, Master is a Japanese, but Master is always thinking about every human being, each one of you, and always caring about you, each one of you, and giving love, each one of you. And we are the disciples to deliver and convey Master's love to the end of the world. Right now is a changing time. Whether human can survive or natural disaster or war will decrease human population. It is undecided. It is on our side, on our choice. And that is the story of the revolution. Revolution starts from your mind. Which way do you want to go on? Revolution always starts from your mind and your value system or your view toward the world. Whether you accept Master's voice or not, or whether you accept heavenly guidance or not. Without it, we will make any conflict all over the world. And we will, which ends the human soul, human happiness. So that's the point. I'd like to make it clear. And can you take this material? Interview with somebody. Please introduce yourself. I'm Nataka. I'm so and so from Iraq. Yeah, it's clearly says Iran. Yeah. It should be obscure because this makes this lady very on the crisis. I'm 60, 60 years old. I was born in Tehran and have two children, a boy and a girl, and I also have a grandson. And how long have I been a happy member of Happy Science? I'm a member of Happy Science for 2 years now. What is the name of the curtain? Oh, this is the book. This one is books. She was most impressed with me. The book, The Laws of the Sun, changed my life forever. The first time I read it, I felt dizzy. I never heard such a feeling. After 5 months, I realized that something was changing in me. I was an ultra Islamist woman, traditional Islamist woman, and never wanted to hear any other teaching. There are many teachings in the books which was different from Islam. Something in me was telling me, oh, this is always happening. Something in her, telling her that these are the words of Satan, and it is sent to me to delude me from Islam. Oh, I shed my skin, cried. Oh, tears. maybe we cannot shed skin. I fought against myself to believe Master Kawa. I talked with Nima. Nima is the preacher or the Shibucho branch manager of Iran. Of course, he cannot live in Tehran. He is not outside. Who is scheduled to live in right now or in the near future. No. We will have Nima here. Okay? And Nima, I talked with Nima for many hours and cried a lot every night at night. Gradually, curtains fell one after another, and truth revealed itself to me. What are the words she was most attractive when looks Master's good. I must say the teachings that touched my soul the most was the developmental stages of love. This is the core concept of happy science theory, which connects love and enlightenment. Love is symbolized by the Jesus Christ teachings, and enlightenment is Shakyamuni Buddha's teachings. Or love is Hermes' teachings, and enlightenment is also the Shakyamuni Buddha's teachings. Okay, and love is the Western side, and enlightenment is the Eastern side, which combines and unites the developmental stages of love. I never heard of love in this way. One day I was thinking that this is a middle religion, but then I was reminded of the teachings of love. I told Nima again, I believe you are all evil in the process. You're all evil. He gave me love instead. I never expected the word love without any expectation in return. I pray to God, how is it possible that somebody from Japan knows love more than your Prophet Muhammad? All this kind of thing always happen. And Nima talked about Muhammad with much respect. Of course, he has been born and raised in the Muslim countries. So Nima has so much respect to Muhammad. That asked me to listen to the God who sent Muhammad. This is a crucial point. Muhammad was sent by somebody else, and his name is Elkantai. And Jesus is always praying for somebody else, the Heavenly Father, and his name is Elkantai. Right now, he is descending as Master Niho in Japan. And how could a Japanese man to be the God who sent Muhammad? Even thinking about this felt like an unforgivable thing to me. Today, I believe that Master found me in the dark and said, oh, this is a touching thing. What will you do if Happy Science from now on, as a Happy Science member? I live in one of the angriest countries. Iran is the totalitarian regime. They are suppressing people by religion, by Muslim teachings. And politicians are always using to control national situation by using Quran. So it's turning into a totalitarian regime. And I live in one of the most angriest countries in the world. I think many of the people will fall into hell if they are not awakened. I want to share the teachings of love with other people. And I have learned to see all people as the children of the Lord God. There are things that I cannot tell in my society. There are things that I only tell Nima because others will suppress me if I tell them. But this is the situation right now. They are experiencing. I love Master Okawa more than any other being in this world and the other one. I like to think that I was his disciple in my past lives. She thinks that she has been a disciple in past lives. And I can clearly say that all of you may have past lives, and you must have listened to the Master's voices in the past, in your each and every past lives. And me, a traditional woman who used to believe in killing and intimidate to people, and I'm now thinking about the love of the Japanese Master every hour of my life. When you talk about Master on the verge of Dharma talks, I can't stop my tears. She has she's becoming pure and pure-minded, and she's accepting and she's reflecting her mind. So please give your words of thanks to the Lord for his 3,000 publications. Master gave us, that us means the humankind, 3,000 books, 3,000 recently, up to 3,000 books. Can you believe, can you imagine a single person can write 3,000 books. Of course, 2,000 books are Japanese, in Japanese, and 1,000 books is a translation for in each and every foreign country languages. So, but it's a reincarnation of Buddha. Every preachings or every recordings or every words he says turns into the script or turns into the sutra and turns into the teachings and the legacy for the humankind. We will learn for thousands of years from master's books, and the master will continue to publish books, more than 5,000 at the age of 80. Right now, master is 65. My praise will to this. My master, I would like to, this is the most touching point. I would like to tell you that there are people in Iran who have faith in you, receiving your teachings is the joy of my life. Your teachings are the source of my life. I know that you hear the words of your disciples in Iran. I will keep your teachings in my heart for eternity. Please accept my gratitude. I will do my best to be a true disciple. Yeah, we have finally witnessed that kind of people, even in this region, we have this kind of people, faithful people. And all of you are also faithful. And that which concludes my story here. And I'd like to have a quick question and answer session. Okay? Like that, I would like to end this story. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In later times, I will conduct a Higan seminar, Higan ceremony, which is the prayer for prosperity, with the special spiritual guidance from God helps. And Master directed us to read these sutras twice, once from me, and then with all of you. This is Master's direction. And the happiest thing here is that I have to read in Japanese and English. So these are four times read, in fact. Okay. In later.
I need to go.
Okay, don't worry. Too hot. Too hot, sorry. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
I'm coming back. Yeah, you hope.
Okay, any questions?
If you have any questions, please raise your hand and ask me.
Is it all right?
Yeah, any question? Okay. All right.
Could you explain clarify
Yeah.
LGBTQ is a problem?
Okay.
Could you explain
LGBTQ? Oh,
this
yeah.
is a problem?
Yeah, the first one, LGBTQ. We don't blame LGBTQ because LGBTQ people are there, but it goes too much. If it goes too much to protect them, it is not a common and ordinary and universal thing. It should not be the axis of the society. And it should be placed at the center of the society. And it turns into by spiritual world. We have many problems because everybody is possessed by hellish spiritual beings. If you live in such a delusion, just seeking for desires and pleasures, and which makes our souls degrade. and attached to this world. We have to always purify our lives. That is the main reason. And God's intention, His original intention, is to cooperate man and woman with each other. This is the original God's plan. This should be the center. And LGBTQ, it is allowed to exist, but it should not go to the place in the center. That's it.
Thank you.
And yeah, beforehand, Master he talks like this. This is a new and experimental situation. So it is like an experiment. And I will decide in later times, 100 years and 200 years, after I left this earth, Master left this earth, and decide LGBTQ is okay or not. But recently, Master's teaching has changed because Master is seeing that many people are possessed by evil spirit by taking the LGBTQ side. These things are happening. But we don't blame LGBTQ people. We actually have LGBTQ people. Okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, it might be relative to exactly what you're saying, it's relative to me.
Uh-huh.
DIY or die, is it metaphysical or physical?
Metaphysical or physical?
Yeah.
After we leave this world, we will be a metaphysical. When you dream, when you sleep and dream, do you acknowledge yourself?
No.
You are, but you can feel that you are being there when you are dreaming. But on the surface, we are just sleeping and breathing. But your soul is returning to heaven or spiritual world. That is the situation after we die. The consciousness itself remains eternally. And once we are in this spiritual world, in this materialistic world, we forget about our past lives because it's for the good of our training on this surface. But actually, we had past lives, and here this life, and future lives. So, for seeking for the better future lives, we have to train ourselves on this life under Master's will or under the God's teachings.
That's DIY?
Still,
That's DIY?
that's a way. What do you?
It's a from the Rain Dance Film Festival.
Rain dance. You're.
That is laws of universe in short.
Yeah.
Aha.
What's DIY?
DIY.
Do it yourself.
Do it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, but what does it mean in the context of DIY or die?
DIY.
Well, what does it mean? I don't understand. They don't understand.
Is it the same?
Yeah, it's just a slogan. Slogan.
Maybe self-help, you mean?
Yeah.
Self-help.
Okay.
Self-help is very, very important. Self-help. Because we can change our lives with our thoughts. Yeah. We can select everything, every choice.
As opposed to a devotee like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, thank you so much for such a great lecture. And what I'm taking from it is, really feeling
Feeling. Yeah.
God's love, through
God's
that
love.
lecture. So and how the thing expressed in so many different ways. So thank you for that. I've got a few questions actually. The first one is, of course, humanity is post-war in terms of moving towards, spiritual world. So in terms of the crisis, what is the gap between the need for the need to reduce the number of people on earth and the devilish desire to kill as many people as possible? What is the gap between the two?
Yeah, if we are seeking only for the scientific way and materialistic way, which means this civilization ends. If we seek that science and religion goes well with together, so we can open the door to the universe. Because the trilogy of the novel, the universe, there must be in that novel that must depict the UFO inside of the UFO. And there's no machine. They have no machine because they are beyond that materialistic things. All they have to care is the vibration. If you cannot concentrate on certain level of his or her spirituality, that the UFO will collapse or fall down. So to open the gate to the universe, which is now we have to raise up our attention is to go for the spirit world or vibration, world of vibrations, not the three-dimensional things. Of course, three-dimensional things is very important for us, but science of the material or materialistic things, just only looking at these three-dimensional things, and forgetting about the vibration, the world of vibration. This is a huge gap of the future science or future human. We have to raise our awareness for the spirituality.
Sure.
Yeah. We need such kind of things.
But that doesn't answer my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is a need for higher consciousness.
Yeah, I question. Yeah.
Yeah, higher consciousness. So my question is there a desire for the heavenly world to reduce the population?
Yeah. There are so many people who are reincarnating here just to experience three-dimensional world and trying to fight something and experience. But the problem is they are degrading their souls.
Okay.
Yeah, degrading. Many people, recently, more than 70% are going down to hell.
Okay.
That's the problem. That's not for the purpose of this three-dimensional world. This is a place for allow everybody to get back to heaven, but this place is not working as such. So that's the problem. So we have to create something new, completely new, destroy everything and start life new.
Yeah.
Actually, we have experienced these kind of things in the Atlantic area. 10,000 years ago, they have been very progressed scientific culture or civilization who can go even to the universe. But they believe only in science. And they disregard minds, which finally turns into the devilish side. And Alasha, the reincarnation of the Jesus Christ, was killed at that time. Then the continent collapsed and continents sink immediately. That was a great tragedy of the humankind. And from that scratch, we have progressed after 10,000 years later. But we are right now experiencing the same kind of choice, whether we should take or seek for their gods and material things coexist and seek happy science prevail on earth, or just disregarding enlightenment and seeking science, which conclusion is the evidence. Okay.
Just one point, sorry.
Okay.
And that was not heavenly world people, divine people try to kill people. Okay. As a result of the reaction of the consciousness of the earth, and then the earth reacted to get a big disaster, natural disaster. And then naturally the population will be reduced by that. And that's why it's not a punishment by heavenly people or God. Okay, the reaction of the consciousness and also reaction of the mind. Okay.
Yeah, but you also talk about the degrading of the soul. Does it mean that before the soul degrades too much, people are going to degrade? Is that what it means?
Yeah, that's nice. They cannot return to the original world. They from heavenly world. Yeah, it is only allowed to heavenly spirits to return to earth to have reincarnation in this earth. But after experiencing this three-dimensional world, many people go with them. That's it.
So you mentioned in your talk that Master said that the coronavirus situation will last for another further 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
In the Lords of Secret, he revealed some
Yeah,
strategies
that's
and techniques how to cope with
Yeah.
health and with economically with effort. So I want to know, for the next 2.5 years, did Master reveal some further strategies, like not just to get through, but actually to really succeed and really move through this quite successfully? Did he really reveal some techniques, or is he going to talk about it in his birthday seminar or lecture, Be Independent and Strong?
I'm not so sure what kind of things Master will reveal in this lecture, but yeah, even to me, the 2.5 years lasting is
So not
amazement for me.
one,
Yeah. Because Master on the January 6th, Master said CCP should pay something, and I will do something, or natural disaster should occur when if CCP has not repentance. So Master secretly pray for returning coronavirus to China. That's why right now China is locking down every place, and in Shanghai or Beijing or everywhere, they are experiencing the same pain. They try to prevail to the world, but after that, Master said new truths that Corona will last for 5 years, and it was shocking to me. Yeah. I thought it will end by the confining into China. And that's the end of the story, I thought. But Master predicted 5 years, 2.5 years.
So is when he says lots of returning COVID to China, is that, I don't wish bad on anyone, but is that going back to Xi Jinping himself? Because the Chinese people are innocent.
Yeah, Chinese people are innocent. Yeah, Xi Jinping
Xi Jinping is culprit. But what I meant was, did Master, since he said it will last another 2.5 years, gave more strategy and technique how to succeed in this coronavirus time, both for our health and economically, because the economic recession on a global level is coming, many things are unfolding. So how can we turn the tide the positive way? This dark tide is coming.
Yeah, we have to. We think before coronavirus, we thought that science is everything and medical science is everything, and it is the only one and only truth. Mask is everything, or something like that, or vaccine is everything. But recently, we are acknowledging that they are all lying, and what is most important is human immunity and human strength, which was given by God within ourselves. What we have to esteem, what we have to be care of, what we have to care about is that human power, even including the faith, not science. And this is the chance for humankind or humanity to raise our awareness, to be deluded, not to be deluded by science, brainwashed by science. So this is maybe the good chance for humankind to lose faith in science, and which wavers makes humankind wavers. The value system is wavering right now. So we have the chance to see later. We are on the process to become more faithful people. maybe this is the God's plan to make us more more progressed spiritual in the spiritual meaning. Okay? We are right now experiencing many hardships right now, but in the future we have some goal, another goal. Okay.
I've got many other things issues, but anyhow, I'm not bringing it there. One thing we always blame that, not blame, we say in the books and everything that present coronavirus was created by China.
Yeah, created by
It came out from the lab,
Yeah.
one of the Chinese. I tell you one thing, similar, even the worse than that, 127 years ago,
7 years ago.
127 years ago, is from Spain, similar virus
Oh,
had
mm.
killed nearly 7 million people.
Yeah.
Tell me, at that time, China had not developed
No,
anything.
there's no-
America did not develop
Yeah,
anything. Could you please explain me that
Yeah.
thing? Instead to blame only on China on one side,
Yeah.
blindly,
Mhm.
can you explain me of that epidemic?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
Spain. Yeah.
It started from Spain. Spain had not developed anything.
Yeah.
That was a third world country at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, humankind will periodically experience the pandemic. This is always happening in the long history of humankind. So, as for the Spanish fever, it was a disaster, and also we had the same kind of pandemic like the pest or Spain fever or something. But anyway, if people's mind is not clear and become dirty and losing faith in their God, that such kind of disaster is easy to happen.
Sir,
Because we have the disease with the help of the evil spirit, negative spirit, negative way of energy, that which makes the pandemic bigger and bigger. So actually, at that time in the Spain fever, we didn't have any biotech company or something.
this is not fully satisfied. I'm not fully satisfied by your answer.
Okay.
Sir, excuse me.
Okay. No.
Because my question was in 126.4 months, at 126 years and 4 months, exactly, it started from Spain. That similar epidemic,
Mhm.
nearly 7 million people approximately. At that time, we didn't have much knowledge about
Mhm.
counting the people in the worldwide. They approximately say about 7 to 10 million people passed, died. Who created that virus? That's what my question is. Because China was not existing.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yes,
then
sir.
the Master Oka clearly said, at that time, humankind almost lost their faith because white supremacy was going on, as I told you last week, right? And then the reaction of that created such kind of virus. Because they
The
can
negative source.
negative thought created, because virus itself very neutral. But if the virus combines the negative thought, that becomes a very strong form.
Quite right.
Yeah. Then at that time, around the beginning of the 20th century, right? And then the Spanish flu has happened. At that time, mass assault, and then the white supremacy was going on. And then that kind of the very negative thought and combined because they try to colonize all African and Asian countries and try to reduce anything from
You're right.
those countries. That negative thought combined with bias and it becomes state. That's Masa explained. Okay. You
Thank
understand?
you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wondered, you mentioned after the bombing of Japan,
Yeah.
that UFOs
Yeah.
attracted to Earth.
Frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the intention?
Yeah. To survey and try to prevent another disaster. They are trying to intervene
Right.
our civilization.
Right.
If that is the suicide of humanity, which makes this Earth impossible to live.
Okay. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. On this
Okay.
point of atomic bomb on Japan and Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
Yeah.
I remember those things. My
Yeah.
father told me. What was the intention of state to kill millions of people while they were sleeping in the night, children and humans? It is not the crime.
Yeah.
That was not evil. It was a Hispanic things, And after that, what happened? Millions of people was vanished at that time.
Tens of thousands of people vanished. Yeah, the effect of aftermath of atomic bomb is disastrous because they cannot acknowledge that they actually died. They instantly they disappear from this earth. So they cannot accept that they have died. So many stray schools were there for even 50 years or 60 years. They're just straying without the acknowledgement of their death. And their astral body has vanished because of the such kind of huge power.
Can I say something too? Can I add something? First World War and Second World War
Yeah.
was started by Germany
Yeah.
and not the Japan. Germany.
Yeah.
If America had intention
Yeah.
to stop those wars and evil things which was killing the people,
Yeah.
they should drop a bomb in the Germany. Let me tell you, one
Yeah.
thing. Because
That's
that's the places. Because that's the same race, the white race.
Same
Eh,
racial
That's why they did not drop there.
Yeah.
But to get their experience
Complete
on Japan, because you're not the same race like the West. Understand?
Yeah.
To get the experience that does it work or not work. And this is the cruelty and the human on the human history. We should condemn that one all the time. I always condemn from my heart. And there was no reason to kill sleeping people.
At
in
that
the
time,
night
Japan has no ability to fight more and more.
So I'm always against that evil intention.
Yeah,
That person who dropped the bomb. If they should drop in Germany, not in Japan. Nothing to do with it. Pearl Harbor, the war which was done in 1940. My grandfather was alive, he told me. They excited Japan to attack to Pearl
Which
Harbor.
is right
That
now
was an excuse. Same thing like Ukraine.
Ukraine, right?
America has
Your
excited.
agreement is very correct.
Putin. That was nothing. Ukraine can't do anything. He will kill like an ant. But internally, they have been supplying the weapons and training to those people to fight against that. This is not the cruelty. This is. I'm not against America. I'm not against West. I'm living in the West. I have got a
We have
nationality
to
of
raise
the country.
awareness of the
But I'm
thing.
always goes on the fact.
Yeah.
What they did it, and we should have the voice. I never read any book by Mr. Okawa that he has condemned America to drop the bomb on Japan.
Actually, yes.
Actually, yes.
He did.
He did?
He has, yeah.
I'm sorry, then my knowledge is not that great.
He has many times.
Actually, exactly the same point you mentioned. That's one of the reasons. Racial.
But he clearly said that is a crime.
The other thing is the faith was
America is having crime everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That's what he said.
War in Pakistan,
that's also
India,
what he said.
created by America.
Because he
War.
found 3,000 books. That's why you can find here. Okay, that's it.
Sorry, say again. Sorry about
In
that.
addition, atomic bomb, 2 areas of atomic bomb.
Yeah.
America has experienced.
Still, nothing can be grown in that part of Japan.
Higher bomb in Tokyo. They killed 10,000 people. Tens of thousands.
I can recommend some books for you.
Last time, my friend gave a lecture to us that Mr. Kawa is writing a book which is coming on July, which is very interesting. So I
Yeah.
read it. Question is, that's a part of the crime by the West in that time to use the Asian people to draw or African people to draw for their experience. This is not my voice.
So,
And then they put the grip on their freedom as well, which is unfortunately still Japan is facing that grip. I'm sorry about that.
yeah, we are living in a laws of cause and effect. So there are, if you have some cause, we have to read the result. So Western country, in some meaning, have to pay in later times, in the longer history of times. And things are happening and raising, changing, everlasting changing. So it's not that, and our history will last forever under the law of cause and effect. And we will reincarnate in the opposite side, maybe, to experience the different things.
And he said clearly, he had three missions in this lifetime. One is stop materialism, meditation. And the second one is stop white supremacy idea. And the third is transform Islam. Those three missions, transform Islam, innovate Islam.
Yeah.
That is the third point. He will innovate the Islam. Because Islam itself is good, but some disciples misunderstood. That's why.
It's a misunderstanding that a lot of
Three points. That's why, including the support.
he has done a lot to the humanity. Mr. Kawa has done a lot to the humanity, to the world.
Thank you
I
for your
accept
attention.
that.
See ya.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I always have you.
Yeah, because we have 3,000 books, so it's so hard to address everything.
3,000. That's God given.
Yeah, ask it.
But please read, I already read it. You can ask anything.
You are.
You cannot
Master
read
science.
1,000 books,
We know all that.
foreign language, Chinese.
No.
We have heavy letters.
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question.
Okay, last question. Okay.
Did you say Putin was going to drop bombs on a nuclear bomb on London?
I'm not sure. Right now, Putin is not obsessed or possessed by weapons. But in future times, it is unknown.
I saw today's news headline. Boris Johnson is going to support Ukraine. No matter how long it takes, kind of headline I saw that is by weapons.
He already is.
He already is.
I saw it
Yeah.
today's news. So that means basically
We
Putin
have to
is
cease
further
fire.
to corner, so that means asking you to do it, and blaming it on him. So that seemed to be.
If Western world does too much,
Yeah.
something will happen.
Yeah, it will become a target.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all Western team try to push Putin into the corner.
Yeah.
That is a very dangerous choice.
Exactly.
So then, time has come.
Yeah, more than 90 minutes.
Very interesting talk.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have more vaccines.
No, I don't think so.
They are asking.
Whatever they are doing.
I'm going to let them.
I don't think
They
so.
don't
Because,
Boosters.
from the beginning part, Master says, look, at the very beginning, Master says that vaccine will not be effective.
Yeah.
Never.
It doesn't
Because
work.
the variants itself happens in the different forms.
Yeah.
So vaccine is the past target, has the past target, but it is not for the future target. So we cannot clearly make the effective vaccine.
Gary, on this, you see, because you mentioned that Europe and the US took part in the COVID with China.
Yeah.
Is that,
Financially,
so economically in terms of creating the vaccines and the masks and the gels?
Because
How they took part?
at the time of the Obama administration, they cooperate with each other. Not the time of Trump. Time of Obama.
that's why Biden is always making obstacle everything. Because all fault is partly on their side.
Yeah. But how did Europe take part then? Europe, who in Europe is took part in? And who in Europe took part in that economy of sickness? Yeah, it's an economy of sickness. When you're making money out of sickness, people getting sick, giving them vaccine, masks, it's an economy of sickness.
That's it. Yeah. So sorry, and maybe you have many questions, but the time has gone. Very short, very short. Very short.
The second pandemic from China, the second pandemic.
Next COVID, next virus, where it's coming
Next COVID, it's not so sure. I haven't heard anything. Just what we have heard, everything is Corona will last for 2.5 years. It will be disclosed later times, and we will tell immediately to you.
Sorry, and the time has gone. But one point I would like to explain about reason why the Yamada-san, Mr. Yamada, talking about crime by Chinese conspiracy. It's not the Chinese people. Masaoka clearly said, we are friends with the Chinese people. Actually, in this temple, there are many Chinese.
We are trying to save Chinese people.
And then we try to. Then he said, we try to save Chinese people. Want to give them freedom of speech, the freedom of expression. That's why we work hard to save those people. And then some of the government people have a conspiracy that try to take the freedom away from people. That's why we try to stop it. That's it. Okay. So and then we want to say become friends with 1.4 billion people in China and cooperate with each other. That's why many Chinese people from Hong Kong and mainland China became member of this temple. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Then, as we schedule, from 6 p.m. we will have a great ritual prayer. That is the prayer for prosperity.
Prayer for prosperity, special spiritual guidance from God helps.
Okay, and then if you like, please join. That is a great atmosphere. So if you already donate some amount, certain amount for this prayer, you can read it out together with Mr. Yamada. Okay, and until then you have chatting and talk with us, and also exchange ideas. Okay, so and then and also one more thing, you may have a flyer inside of the handouts. Okay, so that is tells you most important event for us. It's a message from Lord Alcantara. It's a very simple title. That is be independent and strong. And because the now humankind facing up to very big crisis, right? And then, so don't try to rely on the government, but be independent. Then how to be independent, how to be strong in this very difficult times, that he can teach us. And to all over the world, that will broadcast to 160 countries. And please come. And also, today, I don't show you, but another movie that should be titled The Divine Protector. Master Sword begins that will come. Because reason why Master Oka created this movie, and we will show you this world filled with very evil horse, horse. Okay, then we will remove those evil horse from the earth. So that movie has a power.
Yeah.
That's why please join and promote this movie. So if you can support this movie through the donation or happiness planting and spreading the teachings, that will help for this earth to remove evil thought, evil force. Okay. So please join. Okay. 2 points. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir, for today's.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you very much. And please give the big hands to him. Mr. Yamada.
Yes, so what time is the ritual for?
6 p.m. Until then, if you want to join, 2 points. Just write down your wish and also dedicate like a donation for that. Okay. I already told you the exact amount how much you have to pay, you have to donate or something like that. So if you can do it, you can join it.
Are you doing it today?
Huh?
Very